The bioluminescence that roams. Item number 6026. Level 3 Confidential. Containment Class Euclid. Disruption Class Dark. Risk Class Caution. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-6026 is to be left within the Indian Ocean, accompanied by surveillance from MTF Gamma-12, Dim Centurion. Constant surveillance by at least 5 members is required. Contact with non-Foundation individuals must be prevented. In the event of the anomaly exiting its designated area, it must be followed without disturbance. If it goes beyond 16 kilometers, the instance will be redirected back to its designated containment area within the Indian Ocean. If SCP-6026 complies, Gamma-12 members will lead it back to its assigned location without contact. If SCP-6026 fails to comply, Protocol 17 must be initiated. Description: SCP-6026 is a humanoid anomaly, standing at 1.82 meters tall and weighing 87.5 kilograms. It has a distinctively masculine figure, typically seen wearing a black, red, and white tuxedo ensemble, in the style made popular in the early 20th century. SCP-6026 has a jellyfish in place of its head. The species of jellyfish is unknown, yet it resembles the ctenophore species. There was another loud-ass vehicle. The jellyfish radiates a neon blue glow, similar to the water in its environment. The stinging tentacles extend from the head by a length of 2 meters. The oral arms to aid with ingestion are roughly 0.25 meters. SCP-6026 has been known to eat smaller sea creatures, as well as man-made food, due to its humanoid attributes. SCP-6026 has been tested and demonstrated high intelligence levels. It's able to properly communicate with personnel through verbal methods. Verbal sound point is most likely through the tentacles, due to them being the only part of the instance's body that emitted sounds resembling language. Bioluminescence can be used as well, yet it is difficult to do so without proper equipment and testing grounds. Instance has shown the ability to communicate through writing, although its ability to do so is very limited. Addendum 6026.1.1 Discovery. On 2020-11/11 at 9:30, a call was made to authorities by beach moderators. The call was made after reports of a jellyfish on a human male's head were made to a lifeguard at Peribera Beach, Mauritius. Authorities arrived within 10 minutes after the report was made, followed by Foundation members. The beach was quickly shut down and evacuated after the Foundation deemed it reasonable to do so. Subsequently, researcher Lottie was sent to examine the anomaly. During the examination, the following conversation took place. Discovery Log N6521X. Date 2020-11-11. Begin log. Alright, I've just gotta figure out what this thing is, and then I can Researcher Lottie cut herself off with a gasp, taking a step back from the mass as it moved. The anomaly rose to its feet, turning to presumably face the scientist and hovering over her. It leaned down towards her, as if it was examining her better. Lottie. Hello? SCP-6026 made a gargling noise of sorts, as a few drops of water drained out of the bottom of its head. A low, raspy voice hinted, with a British accent, emitted from the instance. Hello, darling. Please don't call me that, The researcher stood there in silence for a few seconds. You mind if I, take one of your, tentacles? No, I don't mind at all. Lauti moved quickly, taking a surgical tool and cutting off the tentacle. She stepped back. SCP-6026 stood quietly and compliantly the entire time. The anomaly moved the other tentacles, seemingly rearranging them to make up for the loss. Lottie strengthened her posture, putting the tentacle into a small container, before letting the container fall into her pocket. Thank you. Of course. A few more seconds of uncomfortable silence passed. Well, I've gotta go? Alright. I hope to see you again soon. SCP-6026 took Lottie's hand, moving it up to where its mouth would presumably be normally. It kissed her hand, then bid her a farewell before returning into the water. Lottie stood still for a few more moments in shock before the footage ended. End log. Addendum 6026.2 Test Logs. Test Log 1. Summary. SCP-6026 was given a variety of foods, intended as either consumable for jellyfish or humans. The variation consisted of shrimp, pork, crabs, and bread. Result: Instance ate all 4 items when given them. Also, hello Freddy, welcome back. I hope you've enjoyed your baseball game. Test Log 12. Summary. SCP-6026 was introduced to a leatherback turtle to test its reaction to the creature. Result: Instance showed a reaction of fear, scurrying away from the animal, while making noises interpreted as yelling. Test Log 36. Summary. SCP-6026 was given a piece of paper and a pencil. It was then told to write its responses to questions down on the paper, the best that it could. Result: While the instance was able to write down some words, it could not form coherent sentences while writing, and ended up frustrated due to this. Test Log 79. Summary. SCP-6026 was reintroduced to researcher Lottie to test how it would react to seeing the researcher again, after a period of time. Result: Instant showed serenity when around the researcher, almost a sign of happiness. Test Log 80. Summary: Researcher Lottie was removed from the area around SCP-6026 and returned to her previous position. Result: Instance showed brief hostility, then melancholic behaviors, and refusal to leave the water where it resided. Addendum 6026.3 Protocol 17. If SCP-6026 refuses to cooperate, personnel tracking it are required to deploy a net from a water-specific vehicle large enough. Footnote: 20 foot and above for enough room for the instance to have slight mobility within the net to minimize resistance. To fully enclose the anomaly within it. Once contained within the net, SCP-6026 will be led back to its designated area and released from the netting. Protocol 17 was the result of SCP-6026's attempted escape of its current area due to the removal of Researcher Lottie's presence. The audio log from the meeting is attached below. Audio log IA-903M. Date: 2020, December 13th. Now we have confirmation. Back for a bit. Welcome back, Freddy. Hope you've enjoyed your baseball game. Begin log. Researcher Lottie enters the conference room and quietly sits down, followed by Dr. Sallow and Dr. Williams. Howdy. A few seconds of awkward silence ensue. Yeah, so we all know why we're here, right? Yeah. Of course. Papers shuffling can be heard. Right. So I've gathered copies of as much of the research on it as I could. Judging off what I've seen, it really takes a liking to you, Lottie. What's your point behind this? Don't have one, just an observation. Oh. Anyways, does anyone else have any ideas they'd like to propose first? Well, we could always just use Lottie to. Right. Sorry. Silence. Okay, well, I was thinking. It has a large designated area in the middle of the ocean. The ocean, you know, big body of water. So we should send out some water-based vehicle to go track it, and encase it with netting once close enough to do so. From there, we bring it back to its area, keeping it and the net underwater, yet still connected to the boat. Silence passes once more over the other two. Silence passes over once more as the other two take time to process the idea. Any objections? No, I feel we should test it out next time this happens. Agreed. All right. Any further questions or comments? Silence. All right. If there is none, you guys are dismissed. End log. My team is winning. Congratulations. 3-1, so it's the vibe. Yeah. A few weeks after the meeting took place, the idea was put to testing due to SCP-6026 accidentally exiting its designated area. A team of 5 from MTF Gamma 12, Dim Centurion, was sent out to go and retrieve the anomaly, the attempt proving successful and with minimum resistance from SCP-6026. After refusing to go back without the assistance from staff members. Addendum 6026.4 Interview Logs. Attached below is interview logs, majority performed by researcher Lottie. Interview log 0293HX.
A voice crack, oh my god.
Date 2020, December 14th. Begin log. Researcher Lottie sat down on the sand across from SCP-6026. It walked over, seemed to look around, then sat down in front of her, legs crossed. Hello, 6026.
Hey, darling.
Once again, please don't call me that.
Oh, yes, I forgot. My greatest apologies.
Researcher Lottie nods, a comfortable silence falling over the two. The only sounds that are heard is the water hitting the shoreline, and some sounds of animals surrounding them. Lottie grabs the clipboard she had at her side, taking a pin out of the pocket on her coat. So, 6026.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a title I could refer to you as? Well, a name, rather. SCP-6026 pauses.
Sorry, it's been so long since someone asked me for my name. It's Leo, my dear.
Alright, thank you. So, Leo, how did you initially feel about us moving you all the way over here?
I was a bit opposed to the idea. I mean, come on, I had free roam before it. Then some humans freaked out and alerted authorities. I thought it was completely nonsensical. Though I've warmed up to the idea now. I get an island to myself after all, and a vast area of ocean. What's not to like? And I get to talk to you nearly every day. So I'm content here.
SCP-6026 leans back, its hands being placed behind it to keep balance. Lottie turns her head to the side for a few moments, before looking back at 6026 with a small smile. Well, I'm glad that you are. The researcher flips over the paper she had on the clipboard, then flips it back over before looking up at SCP-6026 again. Is there anything you miss about where you were?
No.
Really?
Truly.
Huh. All right. A few more moments of silence pass over. Both of them seem comfortable. Was wondering, how did... A few beeps coming from a timer interrupted her. Lottie sighed. I'm sorry, Leo, I have to go. I'll be here again tomorrow around the same time, alright?
Oh. Okay.
Researcher Lottie stands up from where she was sitting. She stared at SCP-6026 for a short while longer, then grabbed something out of her pocket. She moved her arm, holding out the object towards SCP-6026. It reached its hand up towards hers, tilting its hand in a curious manner. Lottie let the object fall out of her hand and into SCP-6026's, before turning and making her way towards the boat that had stopped beside the dock, extending out past the shoreline. End log. Interview log IJ349 in 9. Date 2020, December 15th. Begin log. Researcher Lottie approached the area where she was last time, sitting down once again. She waited a short while, giving SCP-6026 time to notice that she was there. After a bit, she looked down at her watch, not noticing that SCP-6026 was sitting in front of her. When she looked up, she flinched back, almost falling over. Jesus! Hi.
Hello. Sorry for startling you, ma'am.
It's okay, just don't do that again. Lottie returned to how she had been sitting previously, clearing her throat and adjusting her coat. She put her clipboard into her lap again, pen in hand, and ready to write as she gazed at the anomaly. Do you still have the watch?
Hmm? Oh, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I? You gave it to me, after all.
Lottie's cheeks flushed. Okay, that's good. Silence. As I was trying to say last time, do you remember what happened for you to have, mutated with the jellyfish, for lack of a better term?
Oh, yes, I do remember. I was just swimming around in the ocean as one does, and I ventured out a bit too far. I was swept into a herd of jellyfish, the ones that gave off bioluminescence. I don't know why they were so close to the top of the water, but they were, and I got caught up in them.
SCP-6026 fell quiet, as if it was thinking.
I don't exactly remember what happened after that. Just the jellyfish, and waking up washed up on some planks in the middle of the water and looking like this.
Silence ensues while Lottie finishes up her writing. Huh. Interesting. You remember seeing anyone else on the planks or anything?
No, I don't.
Alright. Do you know what type the jellyfish were? Maybe what they looked like?
Yes.
Would you mind describing them to me?
Oh, right. Sorry. They were the, comb jellies. I don't remember them doing anything to me, but I don't think they can really do anything to humans, can they? Either way, that's what they were.
Dinophores, got it.
What?
Proper name.
Oh.
A few seconds of silence outside of the noise of the water in the background, and the researcher writing.
Did you really want to become a scientist, Miss Lottie?
Lottie looks up from her paper, a look that asked it to repeat itself on her face.
I asked if you really wanted to become a scientist.
Oh, yes. My whole life, actually. I started with wanting to be a marine biologist, then a microbiologist, then botany, then a marine biologist again. That's how I ended up here, really. Why am I telling you all this? There's no way you want to listen to me ramble.
You truly fascinate me, my dear.
A smile spread across Lottie's lips, face flushing once more. Thank you.
Of course.
End log. Interview log 034N56. Date: December 2020, December 17th. Begin log. Researcher Lottie is seen walking over to their usual meeting spot. SCP-6026 already being there. It got up when presumably seeing her, moving towards her with a quick pace. It examined her, moving around her body and lifting up her arms and such.
What happened? Are you okay, my dear? Did someone hurt you?
I'm alright. I just had a doctor's appointment and decided to stay home afterwards.
Oh. Alright. As long as you're not hurt.
SCP-6026 had moved to stand in front of the researcher, holding her hands in its hands as the two spoke.
You're not hurt,
We should get started.
right?
I'm not hurt, so please sit down so we can start. SCP-6026 seems hesitant, but complies. Lottie sits down afterwards. So, what did I miss, Leo?
Oh, not much. Just me being worried out of my mind. I thought you were dead.
Lottie smiles. I'm truly sorry. I planned on telling you the day before that I had the appointment, but I had forgotten to do so.
It's alright, darling. I understand forgetting things. I do it all the time. As long as you meant to tell me, that's what really counts.
Silence washes over the two, as Lottie thinks. Why do you call me those names, Leo? The pet names. Why not just use my name?
Like I said last time we met, you fascinate me.
Lottie's face turns red again. Oh, well, I suppose that makes sense. She smiles. Thank you.
Or,
Making this a truly pleasurable experience for me. I've enjoyed spending time around you, Leo. No one has really made me feel wanted like this in a long while.
oh, well, You flatter me, Miss Lottie.
Evangeline.
What?
You can just call me Evangeline. Evangeline.
Oh. Your name's really pretty, darling.
Oh, thank you. Now, on to the things I was supposed to ask you.
Alright.
Have you ever intended on actually harming another person?
What? Of course not. Why on earth would I want to do that?
Under no circumstances?
Under no circumstances.
All right. The researchers' watch beeps, signaling that their time is up. I've gotta go now. Should be here tomorrow, all right?
Alright.
End log. Interview log 28J295. Date: 2020, December 18th. Note: due to refusal to cooperate, SCP-6026 interviews shall be performed by solely Researcher Lottie, excluding emergencies. Begin log. Instead of Researcher Lottie, Dr. Williams can be seen approaching the meeting place that Lottie and SCP-6026 have set up. SCP-6026 draws back in confusion.
Who are you?
I'm Dr. Williams.
Where's Miss Lottie?
Not here. She's out sick, so I was sent here to do this instead.
I don't believe you.
I'm not obligated to be truthful, yet I'm still choosing to.
Williams moves a clipboard he has with him into his lap, pencil in hand as he looked at SCP-6026.
So, SCP-6026?
Go home.
Excuse me?
Go home. I don't want you here. I'm not going to answer anything you ask me.
But
I don't care.
Williams huffs out of frustration, standing up. He called... Oops. Williams huffs out of frustration, standing up. He called in for someone to come get him, moving away from the instance. End log. Interview log 023 in 4X. Date: December 2020, December 24th. Begin log. Researcher Lottie walks over to their meeting point, quietly sitting down. SCP-6026 was already sitting there, moving its hands to grab hers.
Miss Lottie, are you alright?
Oh, yeah, just tired.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Promise?
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Lottie sluggishly grabs her clipboard, taking out her pen and holding it in her faintly shaking hand. She looked back up at SCP-6026. Did I miss anything important, Leo?
Not necessarily. Just some guy named, Dr. Williams, I think. Yeah, that's what his name was. He came down and tried doing the thing you do.
Were you cooperative? Leo.
Look, okay, it's not my fault. He wasn't even using a pen. He was using a pencil. Can you believe that?
SCP-6026 huffs, crossing its arms over its chest, and presumably looking to the side. Lottie giggles. Ah, well, that makes sense.
Exactly. It was torture, I tell you. Absolutely horrid.
SCP-6026 looks back over at Lottie.
Your smile's very pretty, Ava.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
So, Leo, what do you... Lottie starts to fall forwards, seemingly losing consciousness. SCP-6026 moves its hands to hold her up, shaking her lightly. Lottie awakens again, leaning forwards to rest her head on its shoulder.
Miss Lottie? Are you sure you're feeling well? Ava?
Mm-hmm.
Could you contact someone to come and get you?
But... I've gotta...
Please.
Silence for a moment before Lottie contacts another member to come and get her. Upon arrival, personnel stop the recording. End log. Update. After the previous log, researcher Lottie has been sent home to work from there. She is still doing video calls to interview SCP-6026. The calls being surveillanced by Gamma-12 to ensure that to ensure that SCP-6026 does not break the device being used. The video call logs are attached below. Interview log IJN34D. Date: 2020, December 28th. Begin log. The call picks up. A very pale Lonti waves at SCP-6026, who waves back.
Hello, my dear. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling alright. I'm sorry for our last meeting. Was just extremely tired.
He's alright. I figured so.
Lottie can be seen shuffling around some papers, then looking back at 6026. She smiles. So, Leo, did I miss anything?
No, you haven't. Been so boring without you. These guys are no fun.
SCP-6026 motions to the 2MTF, causing a giggle to come out of Lottie. I'm really sorry that I can't be there. At least we can talk now, though, right?
Yes, and I'm very glad that we can.
That's good. You have any fears, Leo?
Huh?
Anything that you're afraid of?
Oh, outside of turtles? I mean, I guess I'm afraid of death. Maybe the color orange.
The color orange?
Yeah, I don't know what it is about it, but it creeps me out.
Lottie takes a moment to write, then looks back up at SCP-6026.
Oh, you didn't hear that from me.
Lottie smiles. Nope, not at all. Are you allergic to anything that you might know?
Bees.
That was quick.
I got sent to the ER because of those evil little things one time. It's like they were planning on it. I was just trying to relax and drink my lemonade. But now here comes a string of black and yellow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's alright, it was a decent while ago.
Lottie looks off to the side, then back at SCP-6026. Well, it looks like our time is up. I'll see you again tomorrow, Leo.
Promise?
Pinky promise. Lottie holds her pinky finger up towards the camera. SCP-6026 does the same. End log. Update. Further research being conducted by researcher Lottie has been cancelled as a result of her sudden death. Her death has been linked to SUDEP, SUDEP, sudden unexpected death and epilepsy. Her body was discovered on 2020, December 30th, and the funeral service was held on 2021, January 2nd. SCP-6026 is granted monthly access to the researcher's grave, as to prevent hostility, and to allow it to grieve to prevent further psychological damages. SCP-6026 has exhibited melancholic behaviors and social isolation as a result of the death of the researcher. A log where SCP-6026 was interviewed about the death is attached below. Interview log 92JN4D. Date: 2021, January 8th. Begin log. Dr. Stallo sits down in front of SCP-6026 on a chair, while SCP-6026 sits on the ground. Hello, SCP-6026.
Aye.
I'm truly sorry for your loss.
No, you're not.
What?
I said no, you're not. You don't understand.
I understand that your emotions on the topic are very strong.
No, you don't understand, damn it.
SCP-6026 stands up. Salo looks up at it.
None of you understand. I loved her. She was the only thing that kept me going. The only thing that helped me keep seeing the light of day. The only thing that made me feel appreciated or wanted. She's the one that made me feel like I'm not just some hideous freak. She made me feel like I actually meant something on this godforsaken planet.
Salo glances at the Gamma 12 members that stood by, shaking her head lightly to signal that they didn't have to do anything to the instance yet.
All of you treated me like I was just some rat in a science lab, running through some fucking mazes to get the cheese at the end. She made me feel special. Important, even. I'm never going to find that again.
SCP-6026 shrunk down to its knees, burying its face in its hands. It made a noise resembling sobbing, body shaking while it did so. Salo looked back over at the MTF, sighed, then rose from her chair. She looked down at the instance, handing it a piece of paper. I'm sorry. End log. Further interviews with the SCP were done with other available staff. Despite its cooperation with these staff, it did not cooperate as much as with Researcher Lottie. The instance has since kept the paper, a note from Researcher Lottie, provided to it by Dr. Swallow. Dr. Salo. A copy of the note is attached below. Dear Leo, hey, I hope this note reaches you well. I'm doing much better now compared to the last time we met face to face. I hope they haven't been cruel to you, and if they have, I'll be sure to have a word with them. Trust me. On a side note, I plan on coming back to visit you tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be a very enjoyable experience. I'll be sure to bring some shrimp with me. I know it's your favorite. Still truly enjoy all the time I've spent with you, and don't tell anyone else. You're my favorite anomaly. Well, you know I don't think of you like you are one, but I don't really know what else to put there, sorry. Well, I'll stop writing now so you don't have to read too much. Just know that I've missed you, and I'm super excited to get the chance to see you again. See you soon! Evangeline Lottie, 2020, December 29th.